it's Michelle with the Singing Baker, and today I'm making a little bit of a fancy appetizer. They're smoked salmon blinis. They're actually little mini Russian pancakes, but with a twist today. So today for this fun appetizer, they're called Blinis, and they're pretty common actually all over Russia. They're basically pancakes, and in Russia they actually make them with buckwheat flour. Today I'm going to make them with a little bit of a twist. I'm going to be making it with masa harina, which is like a corn flour, and this is an example of a bag of that if you want to look for this at the store. They can be found at most local supermarkets nowadays. We use them here in the United States most for making corn tortillas. So we'll need a few ingredients to make this today. Flour, we're using the masa harina, we're using sugar, baking powder, salt, an ear of corn, and I have taken that ear of corn and I have basically taken all the kernels off of that. You basically hold the ear of corn like in a bowl and then take a knife around it, just take the kernels off. It takes a few minutes. And then we'll also need some buttermilk, 1 egg, some unsalted butter, some sour cream, and if you want to get a little bit fancy, you can also use, instead of the sour cream, you can use creme fraiche, which is a mixture of some heavy cream with perhaps some buttermilk, and then you can get a quick whip of creme fraiche. But I'm just going to use sour cream today. It's a little bit easier. And then we'll also need, of course, our smoked salmon, which is going to go on top of the blini, as well as some fresh chives that we'll snip up. Okay, so we will get started. So this is a great appetizer to make that looks a little bit fancy, yet it probably only takes maybe 20 minutes to make, so it's really quick. Our first thing that we're going to do is put some all-purpose flour in a bowl, and then I'll put the recipe link down below, and you can go to the store and get all your stuff sorted out. That was masa harina that I just put in. We have granulated sugar and some baking powder, and last dry ingredient is just a little bit of salt. Okay, so I'm just going to stir this together quickly with a little whisk, and then we're going to get our wet ingredients together. If you made pancakes before at home, this is the basic setup. You do your dry ingredients, do your wet ingredients separate, and then you mix the two together. So I just have a blender here. You can certainly do this like in a food processor as well. I'm going to take my corn kernels that I took off earlier from the ear of corn. I'm going to put them in here. This is not really something you can do by hand because it's really difficult to get the corn kernels pureed. Okay, so I have my corn kernels in here. I just pulsed it a few times just to get them a little bit chopped up for me. I'm going to go ahead and add some buttermilk, and this is a cup of buttermilk. I'm going to add 1 egg. Our last ingredient that we're adding into the blender is some melted butter, just about 2 tablespoons worth. Okay, so we have our liquid mixture together here. I'm just going to mix it in with my dry ingredients, give it a good mix with my whisk, and then I'll meet you at the stove. After that, we're going to be putting them in a pan and just making up the blinis. So I'm just going to add my liquid into my dry now. You'll see that some of the corn kernels have turned basically into pulp, and then some of the others have a little bit of chunk to them still, which is actually kind of nice. So when you bite into the blini later, you'll taste those little bits of corn, which is lovely. So, nice little batter here. And then what we do is we go over to the stove top now. I'm heating up a saute pan, which is heated to about a medium heat. And I'm going to melt some butter in there first, and then start to drop by a tablespoonful at a time this batter, and then make our little cornmeal pancakes. Okay. So I'm at the stovetop now. I'm almost done melting a tablespoon of butter in my pan. I'm just swirling it around to get on all sides. And then we're about to drop in our batter. And make sure that you watch the pancakes. You only want them to get to about a lightly golden brown here. Okay, I think we're ready. Make sure when you are putting your batter in that you only do about a tablespoon worth. We want these to be little mini pancakes for the appetizer. So I'm just flipping my blini here. You're looking for this light golden brown. You'll see that it starts to look like it's starting to dry out at the bottom, and that's when you know you can flip it. And then you just need a few minutes on each side. This only takes maybe 5 to 7 minutes total in the pan here. And then what I also have is I have my oven preheated to 250 degrees just to warm. And then I have this baking sheet that I've lined with foil. As I make these, I'm going to keep transferring them actually to the oven to stay nice and warm while I make the other ones. So just repeat the process basically as you're going through all of your batter. And then the goal is to try to make them as close to a circle as you can. And then it'll just be a nice little vehicle to put your smoked salmon on with your sour cream or creme fraiche, whatever you're using, to dollop with it, and then some fresh chives. And then as soon as I get this batter filled in this pan, I'm going to transfer this baking sheet actually to the oven just to keep them warm as I'm continuing to finish off my batter here. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm done with all of my blinis. I kept transferring them to the oven as you saw just to keep them warm. I'm starting to assemble them now. I have sour cream, some smoked salmon, and some chives that I've just snipped up really quick. Basically what you do is you cover each one with a dollop of sour cream, then the smoked salmon, and then the sprinkle of chives. So I have a nice platter here that I'm putting together, and I hope you like this one. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like, and if you are new to the channel, please hit subscribe as I try to upload an appetizer or cocktail video every week for you. See you next time.